Like everyone else, I'd seen it in the headlines, 17-year-old girl still missing. Jasmine showed up to school only once after news of her sister broke, but by second period she'd vanished. It reminded me of last year, when her mother had taken that terrible fall down the stairs. She'd hidden then too, like she was trying to hide from the pain itself. I ditched class and found her crouched by the school courtyard fountain, tears streaking her face. Without thinking, I handed her a tissue and let her lean on my shoulder until she calmed down. Gently, I put an arm around her. "I know this is hell for you and your dad." She jerked away. "Don't you dare speak like you know him." "What? Did I say something bad?" "No," she shrank into herself. "It's just, you have no idea what my home life is like. Dad's different." No, I'd never faced loss that sharp. But I remembered my grandpa after his second wife passed. He'd taught me coin tricks, like weaving them through my fingers, but when I tried to cheer him up he snapped and called it a stupid waste of money. "I don't think anyone handles this sort of thing well. And after your mum too. He's only human." "Sometimes," she whispered, "I don't think he is." She let her words hang in the air. I didn't hear from her for 3 weeks after that. It was June, and our mid-year assessments were fast approaching. I was cramming for an AP mathematics test when my phone chimed. "Where do we stand?" She texted. In all our conversations, she'd never been so blunt, but I understood. When life's chaotic, you grasp for anything stable, figuring out which relationships matter most. I took a deep breath and replied, "I want something serious, a real relationship. I get it if you need to put things on hold, though." 3 dots wobbled on my screen for several minutes before she finally wrote back, "Let's talk things out at mine." "I'll be there tonight," I texted. I slipped on a collared shirt, slim jeans, and cleaned the car in case we drove anywhere. She liked going for long drives in the dark, where we could talk our feelings through without looking eye to eye. My phone dinged right as I pulled up out front of her house, and I pictured her waiting for me by the window, but instead she texted, "Running late on errands. Keys are under the pot plant, let yourself in." I twisted the handle and stepped inside. The lights were all on, but the house felt empty, sterile, like a show home for real estate. A chemical smell like bleach or dishwasher liquid clung to the air. Family photos framed the hallway: Jasmine, her missing sister Serena, and their dad, Isaiah. Only one photo showed their mother. Isaiah had taken down all photos of her after the accident, and now there were just faint outlines where frames once hung. My phone buzzed again. "Which room are you in?" I thought that was strange, maybe she was worried about me snooping. "I just walked in," I texted back. "Okay, wait in the living room." Suddenly, a slow, wet thud thumped above me, something heavy, like bowling balls rolling off a shelf. Her dad shouldn't have been home, he worked night shifts, but something about it drew me to investigate. I climbed the stairs. "Hello." With each step, the thrashing grew more insistent. Then I identified the sound: shoes. Shoes that were pushing against the floor like somebody was trying to stand up on a slippery surface. There was a smell too, a tangy, acidic smell, like someone had forgotten to flush the toilet in summer. I pinched my nose, but once the smell was inside, it didn't leave. At the landing, I followed it to a bedroom door. The latch had caught improperly and the door was slightly ajar. I pushed it open. Serena lay handcuffed to the bed, socks and duct tape gagging her mouth. Her skin was pale, eyes wide. When she saw me, her fingers twitched and her mouth bit at the restraints. MMPH. The floor beneath her and her dress were stained with bodily waste no one had bothered to clean. She thrashed harder against the restraints. Holy shit, are you okay?" I stammered. Then the question hit me: if Serena had been missing for weeks, what was she doing here? "Do you know where the keys are?" I searched the room but found no keys. The cuffs were locked to a wooden banister. I considered kicking the beam to break it, but before I could act, every light died. A door slammed below, and heavy footsteps thundered up the stairs. I darted into the closet just as the intruder appeared. In the closet were supplies, duct tape, zip ties, bleach, and a packet of medical scalpels. He paused inside the darkened room, sniffing the air like an animal. Narrow-shouldered and corded with muscle, there was something uncanny about him I couldn't place until he turned, and I could barely make out his face. Isaiah, her father. He ripped the tape from Serena's mouth. "Where is he?" he demanded. When she shook her head, he struck her across the temple. "He brought outside filth to your sister. Her shape didn't hold. It tore. Only his blood can make amends." He reset the gag and pulled out his phone, the glow from the screen the only light in the room. It lit up his face more clearly, and I now saw his eyes. They were rolled back in his head and twitching, like something was pulling from inside. Hanging from his jaw was a bumpy sheet of dangling flesh, like a turkey, blistered with red warts. My own phone buzzed in my pocket, Jasmine's face on the caller ID. Isaiah strained to listen. Thankfully my phone had been on silent and only buzzed softly. Unsuccessful, he reached for a spray bottle on the bedside counter. MMHP. MMHP. Serena struggled. "Did he touch you?" He misted the spray in the air. "We'll need to start the process over if your skin is to be of any use to us." Serena attempted one final protest. MMHP. Isaiah ignored her and sprayed the contents into her face. She screamed again, writhing in the cuffs like a dying bug. There was something in the air, a biting chlorine smell, bleach. When he spoke this time, his voice was not his own, but that of Jasmine's. "One last time, where is the boy who defiled the girl?" Tears in her eyes, blinking against the sting of bleach, Serena lifted her head. My chest constricted. This was it. I never should have come here. I'd felt something was off from the moment I stepped inside the house. But instead she grunted softly and nodded toward the bed's underside. Isaiah dropped to his hands and knees. As he peered underneath, she flicked her eyes at me and mouthed one word: "Run." Guilt roiled in my stomach, but I swallowed it and bolted from the closet. Isaiah jerked his head up too quickly and struck the bed frame. As he was recovering, Serena managed to kick his leg out from under him. In the precious few seconds that moment bought me, I dove down the stairs and into the night. My pulse hammered in my throat. My legs were numb, and I didn't realize how fast I'd been running until I stopped to catch my breath. When I did, I heaved the contents of my lunch onto the asphalt. I didn't see Isaiah anywhere on the street, so I took out my phone and called the police. When the blue and red lights flashed down the road, I felt safe enough to creep out of my hiding place and meet them as they stepped out of the car. "Stay here," they ordered. I intended to do just that, but before I knew it I was pacing up to the front window and peering inside. Their flashlights swept the floor, one hovered back to a pile of pink clothes folded on the living room floor. They hadn't been there before. The officer stepped closer, the light intensifying on the pink mass. Only then did I see it for what it was: flabby folds of skin, a flesh suit turned inside out. There was blood and juice and hair, but no bones. Nothing solid. It could have been worn like a coat. I wondered if they'd find Serena in the same state, like she'd been unzipped. It stirred my belly and I backed away before I could analyze the scene anymore. They finished the sweep and met me outside. One of the officers, Ike, kept showing me a photo of Isaiah on his phone. "Are you sure it was him, the preacher? Her father did this?" All I could muster was, "Did you find anything in Jasmine's room?" Officer Ike winced at that. "The pillow has been submitted into evidence, and we won't know for sure until we get a DNA result from the blood," but, he struggled with the next word. "I'm not gonna lie to you, kid. It's unlikely anything good happened to her. It could have been anyone's blood." I protested, but I didn't believe it myself. Jasmine's words echoed in my head: "You have no idea what my home life is like. Ike smiled apologetically. The blood is several weeks old. When was the last time you heard from Jasmine, in person, I mean? 3 weeks ago, I said flatly. He patted my shoulder. Would you mind showing me the text messages? It can wait if you need time to recollect yourself. No, I said. Let's get it done now. I removed my phone from my pocket, and that's when I noticed a new message from Jasmine. Don't wait up. I'll find you.